Hi, my name is Chris, and this is another update for my Supernote A6X. This is just another long-term review. This is 3 months in, and I mainly wanted to talk about how I'm still using this after 3 months, just some general thoughts. But I primarily want to talk about, has this Supernote A6X replaced my everyday notebook? Sorry, I don't really show too much of the device. I just kind of talk about it. And so first I want to just talk about how this has replaced my notebooks for script writing. And my normal workflow when it comes to making YouTube videos for my other channel is I have Google Docs and I have all these ideas, and then I pretty much just type, or I work primarily on the cloud. And so that way I'm able to work in any location or anywhere that I want because the documents are always up on the cloud, and that's pretty much what I do. I just type out my ideas. But I didn't use a notebook, which is sitting over there. I haven't used it in a while. And I use that notebook to just kind of get ideas out. So I might do some general outlining, or just some like 1 or 2 thoughts, maybe a title for a video, or just maybe an idea for a thumbnail. And that's just so I don't ever forget. What this device has done is it's basically replaced the notebook in that sense. And what's nice is I actually use this to write out my scripts. I didn't really do that with the notebook as much. I think mainly because I always felt it was kind of like humbug to like from the notebook transcribe it later. I know I'm also transcribing it from here to the computer when I eventually type it, but I guess because it's kind of techy and electronic-y, I guess it's a device, I feel a lot better about transferring what I write here onto the computer. Another advantage that this has when it comes to script writing is for big mistakes or general organization. Because you're able to insert pages, you're able to do mass copy and pasting. And if I do make mistakes, I typically in my notebook just scratch out the whole thing, which aesthetically doesn't look that nice. But when you have a device like this, because everything is kind of digital, you don't have to worry about that because you can just erase, or you can just move certain things. And that's a huge advantage I find when it comes to writing things out. Now, there are some sacrifices when it comes to the size, and this is something that I've thought about when I got this device. Was this going to be big enough? Because the A5X is a lot bigger, or I think it's a lot bigger compared to this device. However, in terms of portability, I feel like this is perfect. I wish that, yeah, it had a little bit more page space or more room, but then I'm also gonna have to carry something that's larger. Whenever I carry this around, it's really great. I'm willing, now that I've used this device for 3 months, I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit less page space for that portability, because that means I'm gonna take the device and actually use it. The second way that it sort of replaced the notebook for me is the to-do list. I have a lot of things to keep track of when it comes to YouTube. I have all of my ideas, and then I have my script, I have my filming and editing, and then I have my thumbnail. And it's hard to keep track of all of that. Typically I've done it on Google Drive, but even Google Drive is not always so great because I have to then log in. If I don't have access to my phone, I have to like log in or something. And so the fact that I can just pull it up on here is really nice. I keep track of all the different stages of all my videos because I'm not just working on one video at a time. I'm working on usually 4 or 5 scripts, and it's a lot of work if you have a YouTube channel. So by having a to-do list here is really great. I don't have to worry about loose pages, and I have multiple to-do lists because I have this channel, I guess, and I also have my main channel. So because I have these 2 kind of channels going at the same time, although this one's a lot more casual, it still is nice to be able to create 2 separate to-do lists when it comes to organizing my 2 channels. And this last point is maybe, I don't know, maybe you can relate to it if you have one of these devices, or if you don't and you are looking to buy one, this might be something that you may consider. I find that when it comes to having a device like this versus like a notebook, I feel better about taking a device like this more often with me. And what that means is that I'm writing more in it. So when it comes to writing in like a notebook that I had, oftentimes I didn't feel like I wanted to take it with me. I don't know why. There's so much stuff in there, and I'm always afraid that I might lose it, and then that's the only copy. When it comes to this device, because of how much it costs, I'm a little more protective of it. I'm not just gonna leave it around anywhere. I'm gonna make sure that when I am out, I turn on the password protect, even though I don't like it when I'm at home because it's such a hassle to open up. But when I'm out, I will use the password protect, and that way I feel more assured that in case for whatever reason it does get taken, that none of the data will be viewable. Also, I like the fact that this is backed up. You can never do that with a notebook. And that's what part of makes a notebook, I guess, so special. Like when you have it on paper and pen, is that there's only one copy really, unless you're taking photos of every single page. But with this, I know that there will be a backup copy somewhere in the cloud, hopefully. But I haven't actually restored it, so I don't actually know yet. I haven't had that problem, but at least I know that it exists somewhere else besides this actual device, and that is very assuring. And so I just find that I'm taking this more with me. And I think that's the whole point of devices like this, because you want to go out and use it. You want to feel encouraged to use it, which is kind of weird, because you are spending so much money on something like this. But I find that when I have this device, I want to use it more. And I don't know if it's because it costs so much that I use it more, or just because it's more convenient and just so many cool things about it that I feel better about myself when I do bring it and I actually go out and write with it, or write on it, I guess. And so 3 months in, I am still using this device. I haven't used it every single day. It's definitely slowed down. And something I guess to consider is in the beginning, you get really excited, right? It's like, oh my gosh, you get all the templates and everything. And then after a while, that novelty kind of wears off. And so I think it's really important, if you are considering buying something like this, that you have kind of long-term plans to actually use it. I mean, this is a cool device. You know, it's nice. I like the feel when you're actually writing. But I think if you're just so excited about the hype or whatever, I mean, it's not as hyped as some other brands, but I guess I would just say, like, make sure that you got a reason to actually use it. For me, it was really specific. It wasn't a Kindle, it wasn't a PDF reader. I got it specifically to write for my other YouTube channel. That was pretty much it. And for me, I like that my intent was so strong that this is basically where all of my ideas are stored. But I think if you're going into it just thinking, oh, I just want a cool device and I don't know what I'm gonna use it for, maybe some of this or this or this, I think after a while, it's probably gonna lose its charm and wonder and awe, I guess it means. Yeah, it won't be as cool as when you first got it, and hopefully that doesn't mean that you're gonna sell it or ends up on your bookshelf somewhere. And just something that I noticed, again, I like using this, it's just I noticed that excitement that, oh my gosh, is definitely gone, and I've used it every single day up until maybe a couple weeks. I got kind of busy too with life and other things, so yeah, but just something to be aware of. I still use it, I still write my ideas, but in terms of like 3 months later, I still like it, and I'm of course glad that I bought it. So thanks for watching.